Hmm. Hmm. Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought.
Hey everybody, welcome to a video about me attempting to beat Dark Souls 1, the original version, as Altera, or Attila the Hun, from Fate Grand Order. A whole 6 of you probably remember that this was a live commentary series, and to explain in intimate detail why it was changed to a post-commentary challenge run, it's because I fucking felt like it. Same thing already happened with Pokemon In Sync, so if you haven't seen that yet, go watch it right now. I'm not continuing until you do. Yeah, that's right. Watch the whole damn hour-long video and line my pockets with the 40 cents I'll be making for every 200 of you. Anyway, I make this abomination after an hour and change of character customization and, when I'm satisfied, immediately fucking erase it because I didn't realize that Initialize would reset the character. More time later, I settle for this after I realized that trying to copy the anime style instead of just converting her anime appearance into a Dark Souls look was a mistake, this run was a mistake, and I was a mistake, but, like myself, at least the run came out to be a happy little accident. So, challenge run is a bit of a lie because this isn't as much of a challenge with strict guidelines to adhere to, rather this is more of a character cosplay run and an excuse to flex my FGO box. A box I'm pretty damn proud of seeing as I only spent real-life, actual cash on some PNGs for New Year's and anniversaries. Impressive, right? Ladies, please, one at a time. So the idea here is that I've got 9 goals to get as close to Altera as possible. Get an equivalent for all of her class skills, get an equivalent for all of her servant skills, and get an equivalent for her weapon and noble phantasm. For this run, the Crystal Greatsword is going to represent her sword Photon Ray, since Photon Ray is, like, made of rainbows and shit, and the Crystal Greatsword is made of crystals that reflect and refract light, and can act as a prism to split light into Roijibiv, the colors of the rainbow. Though later in the run, another Greatsword appears that is also crystalline and can even shoot energy attacks. So we'll be switching to that. Crystal Soul Spear is going to be Photon Ray the Noble Phantasm, since the attack is a large, powerful, thrusting energy attack, which is basically what Crystal Soul Spear is. The Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring will be our Scourge of God skill, since Scourge of God boosts Noble Phantasm damage, and since our Noble Phantasm in this run is a spell, something that boosts sorcery damage would be the equivalent. The Dust Crown Ring is going to be our Perfect Body skill, since boosting our own Noble Phantasm meter in FGO allows you to use your Noble Phantasm more often, and the Dust Crown Ring allows us to use our Noble Phantasm, Crystal Soul Spear, more often, though at the cost of half of your maximum health, which is antithetical to Perfect Body, which heals you in FGO, but it's the only item in the game that boosts the amount of casts a spell has, so I had to settle. The Sunlight Blade Miracle and Hornet Ring will be replicating the attack boost and critical hit chance increase of Crest of the Star. The Chloranthy Ring is going to represent Altera's riding skills, since mounts wouldn't happen for another 12 years in the Soulsborne series, and faster stamina regen means more attacks faster, so that's kinda like a quick attack boost. The Spell Stoneplate Ring that gives magic resistance will be Altera's magic resistance skill, and finally, to represent the flat damage boost Altera gains through her divinity skill, I'll be using a Greatsword upgraded to a divine weapon. Funny story on that later. For now, we've got a 5-phase plan to become Altera in Dark Souls, but we've got to get out of this shithole first. First, we get buck-ass naked, something nice about this run, as if you've ever seen Altera, you know that the drip is atrocious. She's basically kitted out with the Chosen Undead undies, so we don't have to worry about getting a certain armor set. We make it past Alfred Hitchcock over there, get our Estus from a kind, brave, blinded fool, and make our way to the boss. I say blinded because, as you can imagine if you know Altera and her legendary bad civ hatred of civilizations, especially exploitative ones like Gwyn's civilization of the Age of Fire feeding off of and enslaving humanity, we're going for the Dark Lord ending. Fun fact, I've beaten Dark Souls like 4 times and not a single time did I ever parry an enemy. So that right there, that was my first ever successful parry in Dark Souls. And you just saw it. Congratulations to you for getting to witness my brilliance. This fat bowling pin bitch was easy, so that's that. Oh, also, for the majority of the run, I'll be one-handing my sword. Partly so I can parry and get practice and make use of the Hornet Ring when I get it later in the run, but also because that's how Altera fights. Mama Bird takes me to Lordran, and now, in the land of the gods, it's time to start my plan to end the bad Civ of Gwyn. Time for Phase 1. So my plans are usually broken into two parts. Goals, or what I want during this phase, and obstacles, what's trying to stop me. For this phase, our goals are to get the Chloranthy Ring to gain our riding passive, nab the resident key from the undead merchant, snag the basement key from the First Bell church area, free my boy Griggs from a door that I guess locks from the outside if he's locked inside the building, get the key to the depths from the Capra bitch and his ads, and finally retrieve a Crystal Greatsword, our Photon Ray Sword, from Isam in the depths so that the game can truly begin. Our only major obstacles for this section were the Taurus Plunge target and the Capra Demon. Oh, and his fucking dogs too. Our goal for stats in this run is the same as the live commentary playthrough. Converting FGO servant stat rankings to Dark Souls stat values. An FGO E rank in an attribute is a 5 in Dark Souls, a D is 10, a C is 15, a B is 20, an A is 25, and an EX is a 30. If a character has a plus, so say A plus in a stat, that gives them 2 extra points. So an A would be a 25, and an A plus would be a 27. So, Altera's stats are a B in Strength, an A in Endurance and Agility, a B in Magic, an A in Luck, and an A plus in Noble Phantasm. So our stat goals are a 20 in Strength, a 25 in Vitality, Endurance, and Resistance for FGO's Endurance, a 25 in Dexterity, a 20 in Intelligence, which dictates Sorcery Power or Magic Power, 25 in Faith, since Luck is really just God's guiding hand in real life, so Luck in FGO equates to Dark Souls Faith, and since Noble Phantasm is an A+, or 27 Dark Soul level points, and our Noble Phantasm in this run is a sorcery, Intelligence gets an additional 27 points for a total of 47 points of Intelligence, which will become much more important later in the run when our build is complete. First, to snag the Chloranthy Ring for our passive riding skill, I use the Master Key to run down to New Londo, then to the Valley of Drakes through Blighttown so that I can get to the Great Hollow, get the Chloranthy Ring, and backtrack. Next, I go on a parry rampage and mosey on down to the Undead Burg, where I can't parry shit. Next part of the plan is to start gathering keys, meaning I've got to get to the Undead Merchant. I get to him, but without the souls to get the key. Luckily, I picked up a ton of white souls on the way to the Great Hollow, so I just use one of those and buy the key. Next is the basement key, which is gonna take some work. First, we've gotta get past our first obstacle, the Plungus Demon, who we literally just plunged to death.
Oh, yeah! Oh my God,
After saying hi to this grossly incandescent Giga Chad, I spend a couple fucking years trying to deal with this bitch-ass Drake, and after 20 minutes, I'm able to blitz past everyone, die a Morbillion times, get to the Sunlight Shrine bonfire, rinse and repeat the blitzing and Morbillion deaths, and finally get the basement key. Now it's time to go back. I quickly grab the Undead Parish bonfire, level up to SL 15, say hi to this Onion of Culture, meet the actual closest thing to a Giga Chad here, this physical specimen Andre, and after beating Tower Knight Light there, backtrack to backtrack to the basement door to get to the lower Undead Burg, the worst boss run in the entire game. I don't know what footage I'm showing of this, since it was an hour of unrivaled, unbridled rage, the worst rage I had in the entire run, but I freed dear, sweet, dumb Griggs to make the Bellowing Dragoncrest ring available for purchase, made it past this godforsaken section after an hour that will only here to be referred to as the Hour of Rage, open the shortcut to the Firelink Shrine, and start my attempts against the Cap Master, Master of Cap. First attempt actually started pretty well, but as you can imagine, something referred to as the first attempt probably wouldn't end well. I tried to mix the plunge strat with throwing firebombs while he meandered to the staircase for another pounce, but missed most of my firebombs before getting bifurcated. Attempts 2 through 5 ended in varyingly shit ways, and I genuinely thought of firebomb cheesing him and only didn't, not because of any sense of integrity I had, but because it would take too much effort to get the bombs and a bow to aim with. But after embracing the two-handed plunge strat with only a smidge of firebomb as well as the strat of letting Capra walk off the staircase, and stun himself with the landing animation for attacks, I beat this bitch boy and got the key to the depths. I Shamwai, I'm coming for you next. Photon Ray, here I come. I make it to the depths and just fucking die. Next trip though, I grab the large ember, boop the large rat, and light the depths bonfire. Finally, after some chicanery, we get to the homie Domhnall and I purchase my crystal greatsword. Now armed with my photon ray, we can move on to phase 2. With photon ray in hand, I freed Laurentis, escaped the depths, and while I can't quite afford the bellowing Dragon Crest ring yet, we don't have Crystal Soul Spear yet, so it doesn't really matter, and I reinforce my flasks before fighting my way through the Undead Parish Church up to the roof to face off against the Bell Gargoyles. My first attempt was pretty damn close, but I got greedy and tried to trade, which worked against one gargoyle, but just barely, with the second finishing me off. Second attempt just went poorly. I guess I got to phase 2 way too fast, or at least before I was ready and warmed up. But third time's the charm, because I was able to cut off the tail of Arctic Uno, and abuse his Flame Breath animation to finish it off before Zapdos showed up. And with only one Goyle left and dealing over 150 damage per hit with Photon Ray, the bell rings out. I was worried about this thing breaking quick since that's the whole gimmick, it deals incredibly high damage but breaks quickly. But as you'll see, this isn't the last time I slaughter a boss with one of these monsters. So with that out of the way, let's talk goals and obstacles. Our goals are to become a Lord and gain our Divinity passive by acquiring a Divine upgraded sword, and to be the Lord of the Rings by getting some of our rings for the build, of which there are several. First, we've got to defeat our first obstacle, the Moonlight Butterfly, in order to get access to its soul, which we'll be using for a glitch to get our stats where they need to be for the build, and the Divine Ember, which we'll need to give to Gigandre of Astora for a Divine Weapon upgrade. Next, we'll need to defeat the Hydra in Darkroot Basin to get the Dusk Crown Ring, which unfortunately won't be useful for quite a while. And after that, I'll use the Soul of the Moonlight Butterfly to get my stats right, get souls for our Scourge of God skill, the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring from Griggs, another useless ring right now, and then finally get souls for the Crest of Artorias to get the Hornet ring for half of the effects of the Crest of the Star skill. So, for the Moonlight Butterfly, it still to this day confounds me as to why I just could not, for the life of me, beat it last time. It took like 2 hours last time for the playthrough, but this time it took me like 4 minutes, it was easy as fuck. I guess the Crystal Greatsword is to thank there. I can definitely see why an extended battle with the Moonlight Butterfly, while only getting in paltry damage once in a while, could be considerably harder. But regardless, I got the boss soul in the Divine Ember, and proceeded to spend the next hour and a half using a glitch to use the Butterfly's soul as many times as I want, racking in over 1,000 souls in a second. Not bad. I amass enough souls to get our Scourge of God skill ring, the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring, from Griggs. When leveling up, I didn't bother with Faith or Intelligence seeing as I can't use them yet, but all of my physical stats now match their FGO counterparts. At SL 65, Vitality, Endurance, and Resistance match Altera's A rank Endurance at 25 points, Strength matches her B rank at 20, and Dexterity matches her A rank Agility at 25. Now, let's get that Dusk Crown ring. First attempt sucked ass because of Crystal Golem ads, but after using the Hydra to clear the golems, I used the classic rock strat, and while I couldn't defeat it, I sure as fuck de-headed it. Next up, I used the Butterfly Soul to get the Crest of Ardi from Gigandre, and made quite sure to get the Hornet Ring without disturbing the grave of the legendary master of the Great Wolf Sif, the Abyss Walker. Now it's time to head to the... All I need in this phase is the Spell Stoneplate Ring from the Crestfallen Merchant and Sens, but before I can get that, I need to overcome 2 obstacles. Koilag to ring the second bell, and then Sens Fortress itself. Before that though, I decided to fight Gaping. I didn't need to, as I already had an open path to Blighttown, but before I finished the run and my stupid ass forgot to go back and destroy Stray Demon, I was going for an all bosses except Priscilla run. Don't bully Priscilla, guys, she just wanted to chill and she's literally the only boss that ain't on site. Anyway, Gaping was a perfect target to flex on while also serving as a humbler. He wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination, but he could be if I played correctly instead of being a greedy asshole, an arrogant dickhead, or a third of the 7 deadly sins? Like, lust? No, fuck no, not that one. Well, so I beat that scaly bastard, blitz through Blighttown, make it a Quailag's domain, and start the battle with this sexy-ass baddie with a human woman on her head. My first obstacle in this part, Quailag. You want a challenge harder than this fight? Say blitz through Blighttown 3 times fast. As long as I wasn't greedy and respected that red blast she does, the fight was easy. I even got hit with it at the end and traded, almost dying, but I was confident that my hit would beat her, but hers couldn't beat me. And as I ring the second bell, I cement the line between pride and arrogance. Wisdom and results. With 2 bells wrong, I guess the giant at Sens who was supposed to open that day overslept and gets woken up, letting us in. 1 down, 1 to go. I go ahead and light the Chaos Covenant Secret Bonfire and the Demon Ruin Bonfire before heading back to Firelink and lying to Framp about my intentions with his first flame. So now he's blathering about Anor Londo and gassing the crestfallen warrior with his musty-ass breath, but I'm already running to Sens for my magic resistance. It takes a couple tries to get through this because of dumb mistakes, but I talk to Onyon, free Large Cap Logan for the Crystal Soul Spear later, boot this fucking bitch into the abyss, and get the Sens Bonfire. Old Chonk here gives me the spell Stoneplate Ring after I grease the wheels with Quailag's soul a couple of times, and, after playing around and gathering some random shit, beat this big bitch and then took a shot at the king. Unfortunately, I missed. Second shot was a foul run too, but I finally got my home run on this big fucker after I broke my sword on his shins and slashed out his Achilles tendons with my new Crystal Greatsword, seeing as I bought 2 more from Domhnall earlier just in case of this very thing. Finally, we're in Anor Londo, so it's time to play. In this phase, Smoughnut and Ornsteve got a Smough and Orncease so I can get the the Lord Vessel, and go back to Gigandra and get my Divinity passive. Gwendolyn's got a Fade so I can get the other half of the Crest of the Star skill, Sunlight Blade, and Seath has to cope so that I can get my Photon Ray Noble Phantasm from Huge Beanie Logan in the Duke's Archives, and my new and improved Photon Ray Blade, the Moonlight Greatsword. We get the Dark Moon Nidus Bonfire, take out the Gargoyle with relative ease, see what this evil fucker wrote, made my way through the Painted Guardian Rafters very easily. I take out Gargoyle numero dos and get the Dark Moon Chamber Bonfire before heading up to the main castle of Irith Ill. I kinda just sprinted until I got to Solaire, who then hits on me, the sly, grossly incandescent devil. After that lovely break, I fuck up the Anor Londo skip, break that Silver Knight's neck, and then get it right this time, which is also my first time doing it. You guys got to see my first Dark Souls parry and my first Anor Londo skip. Jeez, you guys are taking all my firsts. I open the main gates, make the Nidus' Bonfire my respawn point, and begin one of the hardest boss fights in Dark Souls. It's time to beat Smoughnut and Ornsteve.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Seeing as, while the Crystal Greatsword is strong, I'm at a modest SL for a normal playthrough I think. I have a bunch of rings that buff or boost my Noble Phantasm, and I don't have my Noble Phantasm yet. This fight was basically just a naked hollow with a one-handed lightsaber versus 2 of the strongest living creatures in the whole of Lordran. I died 11 times over the course of an hour before even getting to phase 2, and I immediately died.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
And I genuinely thought of Fogwall clip freezing them, and only did not because of any sense of integrity I had, but because it would take too much effort to clear the giant guardians and get the Silver Knight to the Fogwall. But after embracing the 2-handed one-hit-at-a-time strat, I started seeing some success. It wasn't until my 19th attempt in all did I beat Ornsteve, and survive long enough to mid-diff Super Smoughnut. I actually don't like killing Ornstein first because not only is it the easier option, but I like getting Ornstein's soul more and prefer Ornstein as a character immensely more than Smo. Maybe one day I'll do an Ornstein run. In any case, Guinevere has to be dispelled, something I've actually never done before, so another first. And I restrained the temptation to blast her right between the amazing chest and put one right between her eyes.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always!
Gwendolyn throws a bitch fit, so the twink is next. He's gotta go anyways, as I need the Sunlight Blade Miracle for my Crest of the Stars skill, and I gotta go through him to get it. I go ahead and place down the Lord Vessel, upgrade my Claymore I picked up on Hellkite Bridge to a Divine Claymore, acquiring my Divinity passive, and then head back to square up. This is my first time fighting Gwendolyn, but even still I've seen the fight before, so after only 3 attempts I'm able to deal with all 3 of Gwendolyn's attack patterns, chase him down, and fuck him up. I do genuinely feel bad for him since his own father doesn't even know he exists, his older brother is a draconic traitorous exile, so he'll always be in the metaphorical shadow of his brother, and he'll always be in the literal shadow of his sister as she literally fucking dipped. So he had to pretend to be her just to hold shit down, so ooh, achievement. Yeah, never mind, fuck that guy. Other half of Crest of the Star acquired. Hell yeah. I kill off the rest of the Dark Moon nerds, including the Dark Moon Nidus, and then proceed with the dunking on of
See the scales.
After getting the first Archive Bonfire, I used Gwendolyn's soul to get my Intelligence and Faith to 47 and 25 respectively, but noticed I need 5 more Faith to use Sunlight Blade, so I bumped all stats by 5. After an hour of soul farming with a vitality of 30, an attunement of 10 so that I could equip the Sunlight Blade Miracle, an endurance of 30, a strength of 25, a dexterity and resistance of 30, an intelligence of 52, a faith of 30, and an SL of 155, I was almost complete. The only thing I had left to level was attunement so that I could equip Crystal Soul Spear once I get it, and I would be at the peak of my superiority. After live-die repeating my way through Seath's fortress, I bodied the Crystal Knight with the truest full complete Crest of the Star, then got the Yeath from Seath. But no curse, so hell yeah. I get nabbed by Seath's concubines, but I easily break out and start my plan to bust out Gargantuan Boater Logan. I get the main Duke's Archive Bonfire, open up the bookshelf shortcut, get the key, and free ahem. And free Massive Bowler Logan. I reload, and after meeting with Monolithic Bonnet Logan, I purchase Crystal Soul Spear, completing my main arsenal. I get the souls to bump attunement for Crystal Soul Spear, and finally, at SL 160, I've acquired my Noble Phantasm, Photon Ray. For the fight against Queef the Maidenless though, I've got to get the Moonlight Greatsword for the final version of the Photon Ray blade and to complete the full build, and then I'm just gonna wipe him out with a Sunlight Blade Crystal Greatsword. But for now, I equip the Riding passive for faster stamina regen and the Magic Resistance passive for, well, take a guess. I head in but barely do anything the first run. Next run I do less than nothing and get fucking cursed. So I go to my sewer bitch, cause you know you gotta have a bitch everywhere, and I get 8 purging stones from her to fuck somebody else over with my curse. But luckily for the whole fight, I only needed the 1. The magic of 3rd times the charm must have worn off because the next attempt was dog shit. This one was actually kind of funny because I was doing the fight and one of my parents came in and distracted me, and I thought that this killed me when it didn't, so I just, stood there. You can see the realization in real time, but luckily I died fast enough to avoid getting cursed again. This time, for what I believe to be the first time, I got the Moonlight Greatsword. I died again, but after that I just shit on Beef the Failless with my Crest of the Star boosted Photon Ray. Bitch took like 3 minutes to obliterate, too easy. Next up to bat is Lord Yido Cheeto, so I bust through into the catacombs and pick off all the necromancers. But then my internet bottomed out for no reason and it stopped me from being able to play for a bit, even though this fucking game has an offline mode. After everything's straightened out, I get to Vamos after a couple deaths, and then Pinwheel after a couple more. And that fight goes about how you'd expect. I activate Scourge of God and Perfect Body before going in, and while I planned to use my Noble Phantasm Photon Ray into my Divinity Claymore to finish the fight, that ended up not really being necessary. A whole 2 Crystal Soul Spears and my man's is eating dirt. The Tomb of the Giants wasn't difficult per se, I just died my way to a bonfire, got pranked by good old Patches, dealt with the Thorlin Dumb and Dumber over here, made nice with Patches in the name of the Undead Spirit and Jolly Cooperation, died my way through to Nito, and this fight was actually pretty interesting. See, I didn't want to waste my Noble Phantasm uses on the ads, which is ironic seeing as Altera's Photon Ray is literally made for farming and killing a bunch of ads with AoE attacks, but I'm not going to be a choosy beggar here. That run didn't go so well, but second run through and I had an idea. This build is quite literally just a spell sword build with sorcery attacks and miracle buffs. So why don't I just use my Divinity Claymore to take out the ads and then bombard Nito with my Noble Phantasm? Well, it doesn't go so great to start, but it still sounded like a good plan, so I stuck with it. I'd take care of the bony boys, but after using all my photon rays, Nito's still standing, which I would later find out was because I missed a shot. Later being, as I'm writing this in the script. I tried to take him out with my Divinity Claymore, but I totally whiffed and have to run it back again. The main difficulty of the fight, now that I know how to deal with the ads, is not getting too shot by Nito, since the Dust Crown Ring fucks my health as badly as DS2's hollowing system. But this time, to my utter shock, 6 pops of Crystal Soul Spear alone takes out Nito and I don't even need to get close. I use some humanity to kindle the Firelink bonfire and make my way to the bitches of Izalith. Unending Cum is as easy as ever, but I get my butthole jousted by this swarm of Capra. Oh hey Kirk! Well, I run back through and beat this fucker gatekeeping the bonfire, but this dickhead basically melts all my shit, which is even worse with Crystal Greatswords because they can't be repaired, so I'm down to 1 Crystal Greatsword before I've got to go buy another. Which isn't really a big deal, but damn is it a hassle. Fire Sage Demon is difficult, but only until I remember to plug my fucking brain into an outlet, and then he just becomes a Chungus baked potato. Nice, got a new catalyst for my Noble Phantasm out of that too. I don't know what it is with 3s in this run, like, maybe I got the Holy Trinity watching this run like a Twitch stream and they're helping me out here, because some of this seems nothing short of divine intervention, which is a bit ironic considering the subject of the run. Anyway, I link the shortcut from here to Quaeleg's domain, and boot up against Centipede Demon with Solaire in tow. My first time summoning an NPC for this run. It doesn't go so well.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
I figure it'd probably be better to use my Noble Phantasm and its range due to the movement restrictions of the lava, until I get burnt into fucking jerky because the Dust Crown Ring halves my health. I go back and put on the Dust Crown Ring after getting to the big platform, and after that, good old Solomir Goylelen was a cakewalk. Solaire is sad, which fucking sucks. But I push on and get to the secret Izalith bonfire, which I saw a lot of since next is the Bed of Chaos. I crit the fuck out of this bitch of Izalith and easily beat the bitch of Chaos. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you honestly that stupid? What a dumbass. No, of course I got my fucking shit stomped. It took me 12 attempts to even hit the fucking right one. Like, 12 attempts of constant and immediate death. Even after that, I died once getting to this little bug bitch, but in the end, it brought me no small amount of satisfaction to run my blade through her neck. 3 down, 1 to go. Next was the poor pupper Sif, and even though she can one-shot me, the fight was actually incredibly easy. Can you guess how many attempts it took me to beat her? No, of course not, you dumbass. Why would I set you up to get the answer right and follow the pre-established pattern? It only took 2 tries. 1 to find out I was in one-shot range, and 1 to stay the fuck away from her until she became all limpy over here. With the Covenant of Artorias in tow, I made my way to New Londo for the head of the 4 kings. My weapons can't hurt ghosts, so I just ran to Ingward, what's up my Ingward, and then just ran to the Floodgate release. Look, it's the green light from the Great Gatsby. Oh wait, no, that's just where I died. New Londo is drained, several Dark Wraiths meet their miserable, critically hit end, and I take on the 4 kings. First time with Sunlight Blade Crystal Greatsword goes really shitty, but the second attempt with Crystal Soul Spear and just staying glued to the 4 kings and trading with them allows me to take them all out. After defeating that living DPS check, I'm finally ready for the last phase of the plan. Use the Moonlight Greatsword, my strongest Photon Ray sword, and defeat Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, to end the Age of the Gods, extinguish the Age of Fire, and bring about the Age of Darkness, or the Age of Man. I juked out all of his Silver Knights and make a new goal for myself. Using the skills of parrying I've acquired over the run, beat Gwyn using mainly parries, something I've never done before. I progressively got better and better with timing his attacks and avoiding damage, and, after a lot of parrying, unleashing the full power of my Noble Phantasm, and even using the power of the Photon Ray Moonlight Greatsword Blast attack. Over the course of 7 attempts, I think, my brain unplugged while reviewing this footage, I defeated Gwyn and became the Dark Lord. Oh, and an achievement. Guess that's another first. With that, I have beaten the original Dark Souls as Altera from Fate. This run was actually a blast. I love Dark Souls and can't wait to do more. I had some help from an Altera-themed AI for the build, and I think it turned out really well. I'm excited to do builds for more Fate characters, and especially builds for Soulsborne characters like Ornstein, Sir Alone, and the Nameless King, amongst many others. Also, just something really quick I noticed here. When the game looped back to the start, I jokingly said to myself, oh, this takes place after Dark Souls 3, because of the cyclical nature of the series. But that's when I realized that that's the whole reason why there was a Dark Souls Remastered. You played Dark Souls 2, yes you do play Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and then you cycle back to the beginning with Dark Souls Remastered. Or at least that's just my theory. A game theory! Anyway, that's all for this one, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching. And remember, be safe out there. Neither of us wants to see you go hollow.